Oh, hello. Welcome back to the SF Comic Book Company. My name is RayDoomZilla, and today we're going to be discussing the state of Dr. Doom. Uh, One of the greatest villains, scratch that, greatest characters of all time. So today I'm going to go, book number 2 just came out this week, so we're going to be talking a little bit about that and the first issue that came out last month. First, I just want to kind of go over the history of Doctor Doom and why I love the character so much. Doctor Doom is just a great. If you don't know who Doctor Doom is, you don't know comics. You need to start reading comics because Doctor Doom is one of the greatest characters, like I said, of all time. Started off as a Fantastic Four villain and really is their main antagonist. But he's also kind of a villain to the whole Marvel universe. He's like the main guy. He's the guy that everyone has interacted with, from Squirrel Girl to Spider-Man to Dazzler. Every character has had an interaction with Doctor Doom. Just a great character. If you guys don't know the history of Doctor Doom, he grew up in Eastern Europe, a country called Latveria. His family was a bunch of gypsies. His mother died early on. So pretty much his whole story arc for his whole life has been him trying to rescue his mother from hell, and that will kind of come up a little bit later when I talk about one of the great storylines of all time. So it's a very deep dive in his history. He's very complex, very complex character. He went to, if you know the Fantastic Four, he went to college with Reed Richards and Ben Grimm, and he kind of blames Richards for him for one of his experiments failing. So that's kind of what starts the rivalry with him and Doctor Doom. One of the first books I want to bring up, I have all the omnibus, the Fantastic Four, the early ones for the omnibuses, so they deal with some of that. But if you can pick this up, this kind of collects some of his early stories of Doctor Doom, kind of his origins. And kind of like his early adventures, his early fights with the Fantastic Four, the the Jack Kirby, Stan Lee Fantastic Four. So those are some great books, great just classic comics. If you ever get a hold of them, you can probably find this book pretty. It's out there, probably like $20 or somewhere. So if you can find this book, this is always it's good to like the original origins of Doctor Doom. Find this if you can. The Villainy of Doctor Doom, if you can't find this. Let's see. So we're going to go through some of the books I really enjoy. If you can find them, look them up. Supervillains Unite. This is Supervillains Team Up. This is Doctor Doom and Namor teaming up. This came out in, I believe, the 70s. Some great art, great stories, great Doctor Doom lines. Doctor Doom is... he's like I say, he started off as a young gypsy boy and kind of worked his way up and went to college, and just a genius up there with Tony Stark, Reed Richards, one of the smartest men on the planet. And he's also a very powerful sorcerer. His mom was a sorceress. She was accused of being a witch and all that. So she got her soul is pretty much trapped in hell. And like I said, that'll come up a little later. So Doom is just a great tragic character. He's just always great lines. He always, says, he's very that classic maniacal, crazy, insane villain. And he's also very noble and very royal. He has a sense of honor to him, even though he does some effed up shit. But he has a sense of honor. He's got a code that he kind of follows. But just a great villain, great character. Pick this up if you can. There's some great stories in here. Collects also a Private War of Doom. It's Avengers storylines 154 to 156, I believe. It's a great George Perez art. If you can pick this up, definitely check it out. Let's see here. The Overthrow of Doom. Another great story. Is 192 to 200. Another great Doctor Doom story. Wayne Wolfman Perez is in this. Mantlo. It's a great some great artists and writers. this is the pre-Byrne era of Fantastic Four, like the after Kirby, pre-Byrne. So this is kind of, there's some good stuff in there for sure. This is the one where Fantastic Four kind of help take Doom out of power in Latveria. Latveria is his home country, you would think that taking Dr. Doom out of Latveria would make things better, but no. There's the Latveria without Dr. Doom is a bad place. Dr. Doom, Latveria thrives when Dr. Doom's in charge. And the thing about Dr. Doom is that his people love him. You go outside of Latveria, Doom is a tyrant. He's a dictator. He's an evil bad man. But you go to Latveria, he's a god. He's worshipped. His people love him. So it's a very it's a strange thing that people they want Fantastic want to go there. Fantastic Four want to go in there and liberate them, but they don't want to be liberated because they're thriving under Dr. Doom. They're like, the technology is great, the medicine is great. Like Doom is one of the he makes Latveria great. They think it's a good idea to take Doom out. This is a great story. Sometimes it doesn't really work out. So now we get going on to the John Byrne Fantastic Four. This is the big old omnibus collects. Was it FF? It was a 209 to like 233. It's a big brick. This is the first half of John Byrne's run. John Byrne really took kind of had the next evolution of Dr. Doom. He created more of his backstory, kind of retold his origin, and kind of redefined some of the character traits, and a lot of the Latvian stuff like that. It was John Byrne. John Byrne was just great and influential in taking the next step of Dr. Doom's character. Some of the standout issues here is there's an issue of it's a day in the life of Dr. Doom. It's great, kind of Doom's point of view, him going through his day, dealing with his subjects, dealing with his servants. It's just a great story. If you ever get a chance, I believe, 258 is just a great storyline. If you want to read a good Doom storyline, that's it. This thing is riddled with great Dr. Doom storylines. He's a presence throughout. So if you get a chance to pick these up, the omnibus, they're big old bricks, but there's some great stories. Definitely up there with the Kirby Lee Fantastic Four. This is the great next evolution. Some great Doom stories, just great Fantastic Four stories, and great art, because Byrne is the GOAT in my opinion. All right, going up. I want to talk about these Luke Cage storylines too. If you ever get a chance to read these are awesome. Luke Cage gets hired to do a job. We find out by Dr. Doom, and Luke Cage completes the job, but is owed $200 from Dr. Doom, and Dr. Doom refuses to pay because he didn't believe it was up to his standards. Luke Cage hijacks a fantastic car from the Fantastic Four, hightails it to Latveria, fights his way through Doom's castle, ends up confronting Doom. Doom is shocked, like, well, you did all this for $200? Yeah, I want to get paid. I want money. And Doom gives us his prop, pays the man, and gives him props. Like, yeah, I respect that. You came and kicked down my door and demanded what you was owed. So much respect. These are great. If you can find these, they're pretty cheap. You can probably find them pretty easily. But if you get a chance to read these books, these two storylines, a great Doom story. Okay, next, Doom Quest. Doom Quest. This is a great Iron Man, Dr. Doom team up story. They go back in time to the King Arthur Camelot days. Very cool interactions with Doom and Stark. They're very, very parallel in regards to each other. So it's a great book if you look it up. It's collected in a few different trades. I believe they just came out with a new Epic collection with this storyline in it. It also has the one from the I believe the early '90s, kind of a sequel. Not as good as the first one, but the first one's pretty damn good. It's a Michelin and Bob Layton. Great story, great art. Check it out for sure. All right, now we're coming up on my favorite, probably my top 5 favorite storylines of all time. Definitely one of my favorite Doctor Doom storylines of all time. Doctor Strange, Doctor Doom, Triumph and Torment. Just an excellent book. The art's amazing. Roger Stern, Matt Lowe, Gary Conway, and then Mike Mignola, Kevin Nolan, Gene Colan. Just a great, basically, there's a battle between Strange and Doom to become the Sorcerer Supreme, and basically Doom wants his power. Doom is basically one of the most powerful sorcerers on the planet. He can kill you with his smarts, his machinery, but deep down he's really just a badass sorcerer up there with Doctor Strange. So it's a battle between Doctor Strange and Doom. Then it's pretty much a team up where they Doom pretty much wants to become the Sorcerer Supreme so he can go to hell and save his mother's soul, which has been a thing that's haunted him his whole life. That's what kind of drove him to do the kind of things he does, and what the power he seeks is to save his mother. So deep down, he's just a little mama's boy. So yeah, it's a great art. The art is beautiful. First, let me just say the art is amazing. Just beautifully colored, beautifully just drawn. This story is ripe to be made into an MCU movie. Like I can see Cumberbatch and Dr. Doom. This storyline would be great. They travel to hell, trying to save Doom's mother. It's just a badass storyline. It's definitely one of the best storylines. If you can find this storyline, I can't recommend it enough. Just Triumph from Torment. It's a great storyline, great art. One of my favorite Doctor Doom storylines. If you wanted to, there's a few Doom stories you need to read. This is definitely on top of the list. If you're like a Doctor Strange fan, if you haven't read this, you need to read this because they're great arcs on both. Cool. Let's see. Yeah, I have a lot to say about Doctor Doom. I love Doctor Doom. And this is the next one on my Doom list. Fantastic Four: Unthinkable. This was done by Mark Waid and Mark Wieringo, the late great Mark Wieringo of the great run on Flash, and one of the great artists, died way too young. But this is a very if you know Wieringo's art, it's very sweet, kind of cute, kind of art. This storyline is not sweet, cute art. This is a very dark Doctor Doom storyline. It goes really, really dark. Basically, Doom sacrifices his first love and basically turns her skin into his new armor, and it's very creepy, very weird. It's Doom kidnaps Franklin Richards. Franklin Richards is Reed and Sue's son, so it sends him to hell. It's brutal. This is Doom just going balls out crazy. Just he's so maniacal. The art I could probably wanted a little darker art for this, but Wieringo's art is so charming. But it's pretty twisted. This is a pretty dark book. It's Doom sending Franklin to hell is pretty pretty hilarious. But Doom is maniacal. This is Doom at his most insane. One of the great storyline, great pace. The way he defeats Richards at first is great. He basically tells him, "You want to defeat me? All right. Well, you can always you beat me in some of the science stuff, but can you beat me at sorcery? Beat me at magic?" So he throws him in a room with all these sorcerer books, and he says, "Figure it out. Figure out how to destroy me." It's great. Doom is such a badass. And Doom always gets defeated. Like his hubris always takes him down. So, it's it's just great though. His road there is always great. Doom is a badass. I love Dr. Doom. So Unthinkable, great storyline. You can probably find this pretty cheap places. At half price books or a used bookstore if you can find the storyline. It's a great storyline. Mark Waid's run is really pretty damn good, but this is definitely the best of the Mark Waid run. Cool. Let's see. Yeah, and some other stories to mention, like Fantastic Four versus X-Men was great. Secret Wars, and the original 80s series was amazing. Great Doom story, Doom versus the Beyonder, taking down the Beyonder, and just kind of him, maneuvering in that battle world. Let's see. Another book going down the timeline. So, a recent history of Doom right now. There's been, it's been kind of slow for Doom for a few years until he joined up with. He actually joined the Fantastic Four during Jonathan Hickman's run. He had a pretty good stint. We wore all white. So, speaking of Hickman's run, if you read Avengers and Fantastic Four, they kind of led up to this Secret Wars, where Doom is God. Doom pretty much gets the Infinity Gauntlet. Gets the he becomes omnipotent. Okay, I can't even say omnipotent, but omnipotent, and he basically creates a battle world where it's kind of like a Game of Thrones multiverse, parallel Earths all coming together, and Doom, all badass in his white uniform. Doom is God. He becomes God, and he pretty much owns everything. He just rules over, and pretty much he has an army of Thors from different dimensions. It's a great story by Hickman. The art is amazing. I always forget the name. Esad Ribic. Esad Ribic is great art. I think he did a stint on Thor also. But great story, great final chapter. Like, it's kind of a good end to the Marvel universe. I kind of jumped off a little bit after this. It was kind of like, oh, this is a perfect ending. I don't need to watch anymore. So it's a great Doom storyline. Doom and Richards going at it. It's great. So at the end of this storyline, pretty much Reed wins again, of course. Richards, that bastard. So Reed gives it kind of goes off into the multiverse to like rebuild worlds and stuff. So he kind of Doom is humbled, so he kind of gives Doom his going away present, which is fixing his face. So that's kind of been one of the main things of Doom's character, where his face got hurt in an experiment when he was working in college with Reed Richards. So he's scarred. He had a little scar on his face, and he's a handsome Eastern European gentleman. So he's very vain. So that little scar kind of just drove it even more insane. So he basically traveled to these Tibetan mountains and became like a sorcerer, and became like their leader of the sorcerers. And part of their tribe is that you have to put on an armor. So he basically got his mask. His metal mask. Before it was even cool, he had him put it on his face and pretty much burned his face like horribly. He has Freddy Krueger type face, so that's one of the big part of his character traits is his scarred face. So now his scarred face is gone. He's back to just being Victor Von Doom. He's just a regular guy now. So well, any regular that Doom can be. So that comes into this next storyline. So Doom decides to kind of honor Reed Richards in a way, and honor Tony Stark, who recently died in the comics, and kind of atone for his sins. So we come to Infamous Iron Man. Infamous Iron Man is Dr. Doom, has the new Iron Man. And when you kind of think about it at first, that sounds stupid. Why? Like, I don't want to see Doom as Iron Man, and Doom's Dr. Doom. So it's kind of Doom trying to not play a hero, but kind of trying to better himself and become a hero. And he's always thought himself as the hero. So he wants to do better, and so he's just going after all the villains he's worked with over the years. So it's Bendis and Malayev. Great art, great run. Just Doom, trying to do good, and people are going after him. It's no one trusts Dr. Doom, which is probably a good thing. You shouldn't trust Dr. Doom because he can turn on you quick. But it's a great arc for Victor Von Doom. It's a great story. I think the armor looks badass. He's just taking out everybody, and they're lucky they don't have Doom on their side. So it's a great story. Probably one of Bendis's last great Marvel book. Malayev art is amazing. I got a sketch from Malayev this year at EC Emerald City Comic Con. Dr. Doom sketch. It's amazing. So yeah, really good. This is the part 1 of the trades. This is part 2. It ends in an Iron Man trade. There's a kind of finale, but it's a great book. I highly recommend it. One of the great last stories. So that storyline ends. Iron Man comes back. It's all as one does. No one ever stays dead in the comics. So Iron Man comes back. Doom is battling the Hood, I believe, and he gets his face effed up again. So he's back to being Dr. Doom. So that leads us to the next, the new Fantastic Four from Dan Slott. which started off really good, but it's kind of tapered off now, so I'm not really a big fan of it right now. But they did have some great story arcs with Doom. Like the first issue had a great Doom returning to Latveria. Latveria was in shambles again. Every few years, he gets overthrown or leaves or whatever, and Latveria gets turned into shambles. So he returns. He returns to take back his country, and of course he has a big contingent that welcomes it back because they prosper under Doom. Doom gets back in power. He's back to normal. He fights Fantastic Four. They have that's a pretty decent run in Dan Slott, the Herald of Doom. It definitely Dan Slott is not really hitting his stride right now with the Fantastic Four, but it's still I might still check it out, but I won't be there opening day for Fantastic Four Dan Slott. So now we're caught up. So now we're going to the newest issues, new series of Dr. Doom. That's the first issue. That's that sweet Mary Jane variant. So this is the first issue came out last month. Christopher Cantwell, he's a writer, TV writer, I believe. He did Halt and Catch Fire, which Hondo, our friend Hondo, says is really good, and I should watch it. And after reading these books, I probably will check that out because these books, spoiler alert, these books are amazing. Probably my favorite comic book that's on the racks right now. And I am a little biased. I love Dr. Doom. I have a Dr. Doom tattoo. I love Dr. Doom, one of my favorite characters. So I'm pretty biased when it comes to Dr. Doom, but this is I would be the first to complain about a bad Dr. Doom series. This is great. The art by Salvador Larroca. He did a run on X-Men. He used to start off on X-Men, Extreme X-Men back in the day. He's been just kind of all over the place. I did a run of Iron Man. Recently did a great Darth Vader comic, kind of set right after Revenge of the Sith. So if you can check those out, those are great books. So we're starting off with number one. There was a Tillian project on the moon to create energy, I believe, and it's being set up on the moon. They're building this thing. They're basically building a black hole on the moon. And Doom is kind of opposed to this. He thinks this is a bad idea. He doesn't think they should do it. So there's some conflict. There's a great interaction with Doom. With some TV pundits, and there's some great little beats with the TV pundits where he's going back and forth with these guys, and Doom is he's pretty cold. He's a cold bastard. It's great interaction. He definitely Cantwell definitely captures Doom. You can tell he's a Doom file because he definitely throws some little Easter eggs from past storylines. Very cutty storyline. So I'm very happy with this. So Doom, just kind of going through his life, kind of, he gets visited by Kane, kind of, he's going through his life, his daily routine, kind of, and he's having visions of his, like, a possible future. Kane tells him he's going to be the one to, like, save the world, and that's kind of one of the ever since he's saved his mother, spoilers for Triumph and Torment, he's kind of, his new direction is to save the world. He wants to be, the world needs saving, he's going to be the one to save the world. So that's kind of like his driving force right now to be, be the ruler. He rules Latveria. Now he wants to rule the world because he thinks he can do it best. So it's a great first issue. Some great twists. So somebody missile launches, sets off missiles and destroys a Tillian, the black hole experiment on the moon. It's shown to be terrorists from Latveria. They're carrying the Latverian flag. And so Doom did not order this strike. Somebody's pretty much setting Doom up. And so it starts going down. The politics of this stuff is really good. Just kind of in the war room, like Doom, seeing the situation, and about 3,000 people are dead from the missile attack. So everybody, all eyes of the world are on Doom in Latveria, and it's coming down hard. They're coming after, now they're going to come after Doom. And so now they start talking about the politics, and they're saying, our bordering town is going to get attacked. There's like 65,000 people there, and Doom just stops and surrender. and like his regent Victorious, his new character, which I really like. He's kind of his like right hand, kind of like the resident superhero of Latveria. She's kind of his current right hand. He's given her powers. She's like badass, and she's like, what? No, surrender, full surrender, now. Surrender now, because he doesn't want his people getting hurt. That's how much he cares about his people. That gave me chills. When I was reading, I was like, "Wow, that's an intense moment to Doom to like put himself, no, I'm surrendering. I don't want any of my people to get killed." Great beat for Dr.Doom. A great moment, and it just ends with Union Jack shows up. Like they're coming from all angles to take out Doom. Doom is not an easy guy to take out. So it takes a struggle, but they send pretty much everyone to come get Doom. So Doom is captured. It's a great first issue, great starting off. I couldn't be more happy with it. It's a good start. I'm very excited. So that's issue number 1. I didn't go into there's a couple other spoiler bits I kind of left out, but you can definitely, it's one of the better storylines for sure. So now we go to issue number 2 that came out this week. Purchased as Amazing Fantasy on Irving here in San Francisco. Great second issue. The title of the issue is Mother Morgan Comes to Me, a reference of Morgan Le Fay, a famous magician from lore. She's one of the main antagonists in some of the current comics right now. She's in the new X-Men, some of the new X-Men books, kind of one of the villains in there. So this book is really good. So Mother Morgan Comes to Me. That's a reference that I'll talk about in a little bit later. He gets taken into custody. They have basically a who's who of like badasses to take Doom in, because Doom is a crafty bastard. They have Silver Sable in there, Agent Zero, Herbie, a new Herbie robot, Union Jack, and Doctor Strange is there to keep him under wraps because he's a badass sorcerer, and everybody like you take everything away from Doom. If anything, he's a badass sorcerer. So it's a great interactions. Doom being captured. Great interactions with Doctor Strange, and kind of some callbacks to that Triumph and Torment. And everybody thinks he's done it, and Doom tells him, "This is none of my doing. I didn't do this. I swear on my mother's soul." That should mean something to you. A great fucking line. That great, like, oh yeah, that's a good callback right there. So it's a great storyline. Great. The politics in this is really good. I love there's the war. Back to the war room in Latveria. Victorious, the regent of Latveria, is in charge. Like, she's kind of running the show right now. And so she's a badass, man. They tell her that they try to like kind of big time her and kind of mansplain shit to her, and she kind of just like she kind of shuts them down. Like, would you ask Doom this shit? And like, yeah. So she shuts those fuckers up. So she's badass. I like her. She definitely shines in this issue. I think she's gonna be a great character to watch. Doom. Spoilers. Doom escapes thanks to Kang. Kang looks like it's gonna be a presence. Kang, if you don't know, is pretty much a descendant of Dr. Doom from the far future. So he's one of his descendants, and so they have a lot of interactions over the time, over the decades. So he pops up every once in a while. So he helps him escape. Doom's on the run. He turns to Morgan Le Fay because he knows this kind of little community of sorcerers and magicians kind of know each other, and they have a great conversation. They talk about the Beatles, which hearing Dr. Doom talk about the Beatles is great. She puts on Let It Be, and she asked him if you're a John or a Paul guy, and it's pretty. His response is pretty hilarious. And of course the title of the issue is Mother Morgan Comes to Me, which is Mother Mary Comes to Me from the Beatles. So it's a cool little callback, and I was like, oh, okay, I get it now. That title's clever. I'm a big Beatles fan, so that was pretty clever to see. I won't spoil who Doom likes more, but it's no shocker to me. So it's a great interaction. The last page is I won't spoil it because it's cold. It's cold. The last page of the book is really cool, and you're gonna be like, oh man, I need to read the next issue. It's great cliffhanger on this issue, and then the preview for next issue just has me okay, yeah, they're going deep dives. They're going back and hitting on some of Doom's greatest hits. So this book it's Cantwell, Christopher Cantwell, Salvador Larroca. Just my favorite book out right now. Doom is just written so well. I'm gonna definitely check out some more of this guy's writing because I really think the writing is really clever. It seems real. Like I said, the politics are really good in this, and when politics are done right in movies or TV, politics can be very intriguing. But they do it right. It's not boring. It's fast paced. The art's incredible. So yeah, if you want a good book, just kind of jumping in recent, there's only 2 issues out. I think you can pretty much find them at your local any comic shop. I think they still have the first 2. I'm not sure if they're going into reprints, but this book is amazing. I can't recommend it enough. As a Doctor Doom fan, I'm a huge Doctor Doom fan. I love Doctor Doom. It's definitely one of the best recent Doctor Doom storylines. So I'm really digging it. So if you can check it out. Just kind of some wrap things up. My love of Dr. Doom. I kind of rambled on a little bit, but it's this is what these things are. It's gonna be kind of like rambling on and talking like my feelings. I have notes, but I'm just gonna kind of ramble on and just kind of talk about a character I love, and we'll try to do these maybe once or twice a month when a big book comes out. So I kind of want to talk about just a quick Dr. Doom coming into the MCU, which I'm very excited about because one of the things they kind of, after Thanos, they kind of lack some like major villains, and Doom is perfect for the MCU. Doom has never been done right since probably the best Doctor Doom has been Roger Corman's Fantastic Four that no one only a few of us nerds have VHS copies of it still. It was never released in the mid 90s. It's pretty bad, but at least Doctor Doom looked pretty decent. And then the Tim Story Fantastic Four movies, they weren't horrible movies, but the casting and the writing of Doctor Doom is horrible. It was just bad. It just kind of ruined those movies for me. Was it Julian McMahon? This wasn't the right guy to play. It was just so like weird, snarky. He wasn't like the Doom is funny, but Doom is funny in that crazy maniacal way, not like throwing quips and like all like quippy like that. So it just I don't know. He was never Doctor Doom and me in those movies. That's definitely one of the main things that ruined those movies for me. Like I said, they're not horrible, but they're not great either. So I'm still waiting for the great Fantastic Four movie. I never saw the Tim Story one. I saw what they were doing to Doctor Doom. I saw what they were doing the Thing. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't put myself through another shitty Fantastic Four movie. So I skipped that one. The Josh Trank Fantastic Four. So I skipped those ones. Been waiting for a great Fantastic Four movie, great Doctor Doom movie. There was rumors, actually not rumors, but Noah Hawley, the guy who created the Legion TV show, wrote a script for Fox for a Doctor Doom movie. So I was kind of excited about that. It's right. From his childhood on, there's a great story arc right there, a great storyline. Actually, another book I should recommend too is Ed Brubaker. This is kind of hard to find. I think the trade hardcover is going for like $100. I have it digital. You can find it digital too. So all these books you can find digital. If you're too lazy to go out into a comic shop, buy digital. I guess if you have an iPad. I prefer to read them like in hand because it just feels better. But the great Books of Doom, Fantastic Four Books of Doom, it kind of retells his whole origin story, like from his point of view, of course. So that's a great, if you can find it digitally, if you can find it, the hardcover is like $100. But it's a great storyline. So Ed Brubaker's Books of Doom, it's a great, if you want to kind of read the whole history of Doctor Doom, that's a great one to check out. There's a couple scenes where it kind of gets I don't see Doom doing certain things, but it's still a good read. So back to Doom, MCU Doom. I think when the Fox deal got made, the first thing I thought of was like, I want Doctor Doom. That's all I want. I want a good Doctor Doom storyline. I want a badass Doctor Doom storyline. Like I said earlier, the Triumph and Torment would be great. A Doctor Strange, Doctor Doom team up movie. I would watch that every day of the week. That would be awesome. There's great storylines you can pull from. There's a void now in the MCU that he's kind of a Tony Stark kind of he rules his own nation. He has a suit of armor. He's a badass sorcerer. He can fight any character and have a storyline with any character. He's had like I said, he had interactions with every single character in the Marvel Universe has had at least one or two interactions with Doctor Doom, from the smallest obscure character to the biggest character, you know. So he's taken down Galactus. Like Doctor Doom is a badass character. So Doom in the MCU just makes sense. He should be the villain. You know, how do you fight a nation? He's got diplomatic immunity, so it'll be very hard for people to take out Doctor Doom. This is right for storylines. There's so many things you can do with Doctor Doom. So one of my picks, this is not mine. So that Nora Howley script, I guess, got scrapped. I think they had a meeting with Marvel, the new Marvel regime, and I don't know if they're going to do it, but it's kind of disappointing. I would love read that script one day, because I'm sure if they're doing a Doctor Doom movie, I'm pretty sure it would have been. I think it would have been good. And he's a good writer too, so it probably would have came out good. So as far as like casting Doctor Doom, like if it were before Ben Mendelsohn joined the MCU as in Captain Marvel, I thought he would have been a great Doctor Doom. You have to have a very presence about you, the voice. You know, just have, you gotta have some gravitas, you know. Nicholas Castor Walden, whose name sounds Latvian, if you might know him, as Jaime Lannister in Game of Thrones. I saw this somewhere, somebody posted it, I was like, perfect. That guy, he's handsome, he has a presence, he has a good voice. I could see him definitely as Victor Von Doom. So if they had to go, like I said, his name sounds Latvian, Nicholas Castor Walden. So that's my top choice if I had to pick who to play Doctor Doom in the movie. He's a great character. I love Doctor Doom. I'm sorry I rambled for so long, but Doctor Doom is great. The book is great right now. It's a good time to be a Doctor Doom fan for sure. I can't wait to read more. It's so far so good. So it's my love of Doctor Doom. Read Doctor Doom. Read his stories. They're great. I can go on for like another hour. There's so many great Doctor Doom stories. I have a lot of them, but I just kind of wanted to point out some of the standouts to me, some of the ones that you should read if you're curious about the character, and if you're really if you're looking for something new to read, you don't have to really know too much, but it's a great read. New Doctor Doom series by Christopher Cantwell. Great story. Thanks again if you watch this whole video. I know I rambled on. This is this is the show. This is what the show's going to be. I appreciate if you stuck around for the whole video. Like and subscribe. We have a bunch of videos coming out soon. We got some videos that came out. Definitely look for our weekly show, the SF Comedy Hour, that comes out usually Saturdays. It might be a Friday here or there, but that's our weekly show. We just talk comics and shoot the shit and just kind of geek out on stuff. That's a free place to geek out. So definitely check those out. We did a top 10 horror a couple weeks ago. That's awesome. We're working on a couple of top 10s right now. Working on a couple more state ofs addresses. We're just working on a bunch of stuff. So I appreciate all the support. Everybody's I think we're at 99 subscribers. So one more to 100, and we're almost there. I can't wait. I'm gonna check. Still at 99. All right, we're at 99. So one more. Maybe this video will take us over the edge, and we'll get over that 100, and then we'll set a new goal for ourselves. But I appreciate it. Everyone's been watching. Everybody's been supportive. Thanks for watching this video, and look out for more. And remember, Doom is